Tell me what's going on.
So I'm trying to hook up a flex fuel sensor to the vehicle and pin it into the ECM. And all the stuff I've read online, it says to pin number 40, and still can't see it in there. So I've read some other stuff that said just tap into pin 50, wire 56 in there. And I haven't done that yet, but I was just maybe trying to find out if you could punch up the exact wiring diagram for my truck and tell me which terminal I could possibly pin this pin on.
I'd be happy to take a look here for you. So it's originally a flex fuel system, right? And it had a flex fuel sensor in it already, correct? Oh,
It was a flex fuel vehicle that it was detecting the alcohol content with the virtual readings. So there was no external flex fuel sensor in it. So I wanted to change that, and I've installed a flex fuel sensor in line, and now I want to pin that to the ECM so it's like real time, more accurate.
all right. So I guess the challenge is we didn't have one beforehand, but we're assuming that we have a pin in the ECM that would look for this signal. Is that correct? And that's what you're asking about?
Yeah, well, I can find the signal through my tuning software, but I just want to know where that signal wire could go so I could look in my tuning files to see that reading.
I gotcha. Well, let me pull up an ECM diagram here. Give me 1 second.
That's a problem I've had because I know that I have a diagram and pin 40 is not working. And even the guy who sold the flex fuel kit to me said it should work on pin 40, and 40 is a not used pin. So I pinned it there thinking it didn't have a external sensor. I pinned it there and still can't see it. So maybe it's a different pin because I've read different things with these different types of connectors, and mine was a flex fuel vehicle already, so I know that some of the pinouts vary a little bit.
Right. Do you know what connector that was on? I'm looking at connector number 1, and pin 40 isn't used.
Right. I don't know if you can look up my specific wiring diagram for the LMG engine with my VIN number possibly, but I don't think it's the same one. Maybe it is. How about pin 56? If I hook that signal wire to pin 56, from what you're looking at there, would that give it a reading? Because that seems to be a common pin number and it said not to repin it. It said just to tap into that wire with the signal wire.
Which connector?
The 70. Well, it said C1, which I've been looking at I've been dealing with the 73 pin connector. I'm not sure which one I have. They said this one's a 56 pin connector, and I have 2 different connectors on the ECM, and then there's also a transmission, a TCM with this model of truck. It's wrapped into one. So I got 2 plugs for the ECM. One's a 73 pin connector, and the other one, I guess, it said C1. I don't know if I've got the X1, the J1, or the C1s, but I know that the one I've been dealing with is the 73 pin connector. And I can't seem to find a pinout for the other connector online, sir.
This is a LMG, is that right?
That's what I'm thinking. It was a flex fuel vehicle in 07.
VIN 0?
Yes, sir.
And you got 2 connectors at the ECM?
Correct, sir. One has 73 pins, and the other one has possibly 56. It's smaller.
I'm showing
same in size.
That's odd. I'm showing one's got 40. It's a 40 pin connector, and the other one has. Wait, no. X2. This goes 41
it's almost
to.
Like a 48. It's almost like a 48 pin connector, maybe. I think I just counted them.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that. All these numbers throw me for a loop.
Let me just go about this a different way here. Hang on 1 second here. Wiring diagrams.
I've been researching, and there's great general information online, but actually speaking to someone who can actually pull up that wire diagram for that year flex fuel vehicle, a pinout that I have, it says for gas engines only, and I have read that the pinout for the flex fuel vehicle probably is slightly different.
Right. Well, I'm showing, wow, look at this. 2 connectors.
Yes, sir. What are those? X1, C1, or J1?
C1. The funny thing is, it's interesting that you asked that. It says engine control module ECM C1, and then it shows me a pinout diagram, and then engine control module C2. One's got 73 pins, and the other one has got 80. But then listen to this. So when I pull up a wiring diagram, then it says X1, and it says X2. And X1 in the wiring diagram is only 40 pins, and then X2 is 41 through 80 or 81. So I'm not sure if that'll help.
So I guess that is C1 the 73 pin connector? No, it isn't, correct?
Let me get back there. Sorry. I got all these tabs open, man. Oh my goodness. I apologize. C1 is 73 pins is what it says.
C1 is a 73 pin. What's pin 56 on that connector, sir? What does it fire up?
5-volt reference, white wire.
White wire with a black stripe, 5-volt reference. Now, would that be what I'm looking for, the 5-volt reference?
No, sir.
This is putting out?
That's going to be your 5-volt reference from the computer going to the sensors under your hood. That's not a signal wire. That's a reference. So it just sends out 5 volts rather than input into the computer. So let me just...
So that's not going to sense what that sensor's actually reading, is it?
Nope.
Or does it?
Nope.
No, it's just going to be the 5 volts. That's what I was getting on pin 40 as well. 4.6 volts or something on that wire.
Right. That would make sense.
It needs to... I guess I also had read some stuff that it measures it in hertz, so it can tell by the amount of hertz that goes through it how to make the PCM program the fuel.
I do believe that is correct, right?
Very confusing. As simple as it sounds, hook up 3 wires and hook this in line and get power and ground, and then just plug this into your PCM. I was hoping that I could plug in the pin 40, but I think that might be in later years, 2008 and on. In mine, it's a flex fuel vehicle, but it took a virtual reading with the sensors in the exhaust pipe, the before and the after, and then it did math of its own and came up with some way to come up with the fuel trims.
That would make sense.
It's not a real-time, very accurate reading. It does do it over time, but I need it to be right now.
That's correct. Let me just take a look here. Calibration.
This is a performance-based application I'm using this in.
Right, I gotcha.
I made a lot of modifications to this vehicle, and it's beef. Right. I got my shit together, but I'm having an issue with this certain issue here. Right. If I could just tap on the pin 56, that'd be great.
Right.
I don't think that's going to be my answer.
Well, that's correct. I would agree, and that's why I was so confused because I don't think this is even possible. I don't do aftermarket stuff, but if it's not designed to have an input into the computer, I don't know how you're going to add it.
Right. That's what I was hoping I'd be able to do, so you could see it. Just like there's no ear pin on that. Is there, sir?
I can go back and take a look.
I had a problem trying to hook up my AFR gauge, so he said just hook that signal wire to the ear pin, but that vehicle didn't come with an EGR valve, so he wasn't able to read that either.
Right.
So my workaround for that is through some research, I guess I can swap out the AC pressure sensor signal wire with the ear pin, and then he can do some sort of math to figure that out about how much output's going on that pin to get the correct AFR readings. And then obviously that's for logging purposes only to be tuned, and then I would pop my air conditioning sensor pin back in that hole.
Right.
But I need to get this flex fuel deal situated.
Well, I can do some digging here and see if I can find some information on how the flex fuel is, the alcohol content is calculated.
That'd be great, or could you call me back? Is that possible? Because I think it's calculated the way that I said through the virtual readings. Mm-hmm. And if it is calculated that way, is there a wire I can just tap into with that signal wire to calculate that reading?
I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
That's what I figured as well, because it takes a before and an after and does a math equation inside the computer, and that's really the number that you need, not what would be coming off one wire.
Right. I don't think it's going to work, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to do some digging.
Appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, you bet. You're welcome. I'll talk with you soon.
Thank you very much, sir. You're the man.
All right, you bet. You're welcome. I'll chat with you soon.
Sir, thank you.
You bet. Bye.